Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Drone Wars. I'm actually able to speak again, which is nice. So here in front of us we can see the board, we can see the Federation, we can see the Pirate Empire, we can also see what's left of Delta Shipyards here. I'm actually surprised that Delta Shipyards has made it this far. You could tell that the Federation is struggling, but they are making some pretty good progress on getting back at the Pirate Empire by making an outpost over at the bottom of the map. But right now, the top portion of the map is where most of the combat is happening, and that's where the Pirate Empire has really, focused their forces. So we're going to see how things continue in this episode, and we're going to see what each faction does, starting with the Federation. Alright, so starting with the Federation here, we're just going to jump in here. So the Federation decided to use their first action to go ahead and build a new fleet. Right here you can see that they've built up a Fleet 18 here. That's just a single carrier, a cruiser, 2 frigates, 3 corvettes, and a handful of fighters here, plus additional fighters carried by that carrier. It's a pretty decent fleet, not the most powerful, but definitely not the weakest. It'll definitely help them to boost their defenses and expand out from here. And then our next action, they're actually going to take their fleet that was hanging out in the Pertan Plateaus here, and they're going to go ahead and try to deal with pushing the pirates back. So they're going to attack this fortress world here, with of course a carrier, a battleship, their frigate, and these 2 corvettes. And of course this is going to go down on the Trident ice flats, which means there's going to be absolutely no cover for any of these ships. Alright, here we are. We're on Trident, and there's going to be a pretty decent sized battle here. It means just all these ships here versus that fortress off in the distance. We're just going to go ahead and declare war here, just to jump straight in. Here we go. So now we can see all these ships jumping in. The frigate is firing its missiles, and the rest of the ships are going to charge in as best they can. There's a bit of a collision there. It's not great. It seems like these ships handled pretty well. Although Corvette probably took a small amount of damage, it should still be able to fly towards the enemy, and it's doing exactly that. We can see the battleship is leading the charge here. A lot of cannon fire here. Some of these ships are starting to slow down to take their time. Keep a good distance away to make sure it's a little bit harder to hit them. And these fighters are charging straight in using their missiles to the best of their ability. So the main turret's already been mostly taken out. I think those missiles are still operational. So now it's mainly these smaller turrets that are the main threat here. Actually, it seems like half of the main turret is still functional. It is firing away. At least for now. The main turret's been completely taken out now. Of course, that carrier is now moving in just about close enough to eliminate these turrets at close range. I believe that's the last of the main defensive turrets left on this station here. So yeah, that is a overwhelming victory for the Federation here. Alright, that was an interesting battle. The Federation has successfully taken over this planet. And of course that allows them to kind of just push more in this direction, where there is not too much going on. So that's good news for the Federation. And of course the Federation used their last action all the way down here to build a new fleet. Now there's pretty much almost no pirate threats down here, so they've gone ahead and just built a fleet of entirely fighters, which is just really cheap. And they're going to be using that to just expand over here. which should be pretty good for the Federation. They'll be able to expand over here unhindered. Now, moving on to the Pirates don't like the Federation right now. They don't like how the Federation is fighting back and expanding. So they're going to try to deal with the Federation threat by just further dividing these two areas. So they're going to take their fleet that was here, and instead of going and finishing off the Delta shipyards up there, they're going to go after the Federation down here and take over this valley here. So they're going to be going after this other fortress world with one of their fleets. That's mainly just a battleship and some frigates with a handful of fighters. Mainly fighters. We're going to see how well this goes. Alright, we're on Salos, we're here in the valley, and we can see that the Pirate Empire has their fleet lined up here. They've got plenty of fighters here, they've got their frigates and their battleship, and they're going to be taking out that fortress off in the distance over there. It's just a level 1 fortress, so it's not particularly dangerous, but it can still be a pretty big threat to some of these ships. You can see lots of these large ships are trying to go up and above. Some of these fighters decide to stay low and are just going straight in. There's already some turret fire going on down there, mainly going after those fighters. You can see that these two frigates are staying close together, and that battleship is making sure to stay at the center of the fleet there. But mainly these fighters are going to be pulling off most of the heavy lifting here, being a distraction. Alright, here they come. There's a lot of missiles spewing out. This fortress needs to do whatever it can to not only defend itself, but take out all those fighters as quickly as it can. And of course, the other ships are going to start slowly moving and do a lot of damage. Yeah, a lot of these weapons are already starting to be lost because of all that railgun fire. Seems like those frigates are going in for a random type attack. Definitely devastating. These frigates are just using the opportunity to fire at all these turrets at close range. Of course, the battleship is also moving in. I don't even think there's any defensive turrets still functioning here. I'd say it's a pretty solid victory for the Pirate Empire here. I mean, all their ships are still basically functional as far as I can tell. And of course the battleship just slams into the fortress there. Pretty much just cutting through the whole thing. But while these ships are kind of just stuck in the fortress, they should still be able to fly. Yeah, all of their main thrusters and stuff are intact, so we're going to go ahead and count this as a victory for the Pirate Empire, and we're going to go ahead and update the board. Alright, so after acquiring that new planet here, the Pirate Empire decided to turn this world into a shipyard, and then they have decided to upgrade that shipyard, so they'll be able to build ships up to 10, they'll be able to build fleets up to 10 ships there. And then all the way up here, the Pirate Empire decide they're going to take their most powerful fleet, and they're going to send it all the way over here. And I guess what they're trying to do is they're trying to kind of corner the Federation over here and try to push them this way, away from the corner. I think it's a pretty sound strategy there, and also make sure that the Federation can't go around them there, as they're trying to make sure that the Federation can't go up there. I guess we're just going to look at the bigger picture here. The Federation is making some pretty decent progress. They're putting up some setup on the top for defense, mostly just trying to expand and annoy the Pirate Empire. In the meantime, their main emphasis, aside from that, is actually in the bottom of the map, where they are starting to build up some relatively small fleets, and they're doing that so that way they can just have an explosion of expansion down there. Now, the Pirate Empire, they are just kind of trying to push back the Federation, and they're trying their best to isolate these two different areas. On the top, they're trying to push the Federation to the right, just to kind of like squeeze them. And then in the middle, the Pirate Empire is actually trying to push the lower section further down, and basically just make sure the two halves of the Federation don't come together again. That's about it for this video. We do have a Discord for Season 2 if you guys are interested in joining that. Without further ado, that's the end of this video. I hope you all have a great day, and take care.